If you're like most people, you don't need another strategy. What you need is one small, very visible win, something that you can feel inside, not more hype, not a big launch or something fancy that takes a whole lot of time, not something that's going to happen someday. You need one very precise, clear signal that tells your nervous system and announces to the world something moved. And today we're going to talk about exactly that. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 40 books and counting. Over the course of the last 40 years in business, I've had the amazingly wonderful privilege of working with over 5,000 people, everywhere in the process from writing to publishing, marketing their books to bestseller, and everything that goes beyond that. And what I love being able to do is to work as the marketer that I am to help you be visible and valuable in this world. I've worked with doctors, lawyers, billionaires, nurses, people who you have heard of, and people who you've absolutely never heard of. People that all of them, at whatever level they're at, are making such a massively important difference in this world, being them, being themselves, and doing the things that they're called to in this world. And that's absolutely what you want to do right now in this space that we call today. Because more than anything else, what you really, 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 really want to do is you want to just simply let the world know who you are, what you do, and how can they connect with you. And there is nothing that serves that better than your book. You see, understanding isn't momentum. Movement is. You can have all the knowledge in the world trapped inside of your beautiful little brain, and if you don't share it with the world, no matter how great you are at speaking about it. I was talking to somebody just today, and I was basically telling them it's like absolutely what you do is so important and it's so necessary and needed, but you've got to just do it, as Nike used to say. You've got to share it. Your brain regains belief when it sees physical evidence. It doesn't have to be huge. You can have the smallest win. You can get on the scale and see that you've gained 5 pounds or lost 5 pounds. And it doesn't even have to be that. You can see that you gained a pound or lost a pound. And you can feel like a success or failure from either of those very, very small signals. Okay? The smallest of signals changes how you respond, and it changes how others respond to you, because it just takes the smallest, tiniest light. Go into a room that is completely dark, where there's no lights on at all. And now you got to be someplace, where there isn't a whole bunch of lights coming in the window too. Karth, glad to have you here with us. I am in central Kansas. Glad to have you in here, coming from India today. Great to see you. But if you're in a place where it's dark outside and there's no lights on inside, or if you're in a room that doesn't have windows or what have you, you can light a lighter, light a match, light a candle, and you can have an amazing amount of light. Think about your phone, okay? And that little, light that's at the back of your phone, right? That you turn on, and you can see around, all over the place. Jay, glad to have you here. It doesn't take a whole lot, but it makes such a hugely enormous difference. I mean, like big time. It changes things so much to have that small, little, tiny spark. And Smallest of visibility signals lets the market, react to it. Okay. Yesterday, we were talking in more detail about how you can, do things like reviews. If you get even one review, you get a person that goes to Amazon, buys your book, reads the book, and writes a review, it's going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference not only in the overall ranking for your book, absolutely, it's going to do that, but it's also going to make a difference in how the book is perceived by people out and around in the world. It creates a knowing of you. And we talked about this yesterday, didn't we? About the know, like, and the trust. It gives them the way to be able to know you so that they can then, for the people that resonate with you, they can like you. And that is where the trust comes. And when people trust us, that's what really opens the doors. We've been led to believe so much that there's some kind of magical thing where without a person knowing us at all, they can just want to buy thousands upon thousands upon thousands of our stuff. And for, inexpensive things, that is absolutely true. There are, I was actually on Amazon the other day looking at lower end phones, and it's amazing how many sub $200 for sure, even sub $100 phones there are actually out on the market. But almost every single one of them is by a company name that I've at least never heard of. And if you work for that company, you're like, well, I totally know that company, which is part of why I'm not saying names. But doesn't mean, in fact, I've seen some of them in times previous where that particular very quote unquote low end phone was an amazing piece of equipment. The difference is people didn't know it. So they didn't know whether or not they could trust it. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're talking about how honestly, even their price plays into that. That small win gives you the capability to be able to begin the movement that will turn into momentum. And when you move, when you take that step out, maybe even afraid, that's where courage rises up into you. And as your courage is restored, your courage being restored gives you the desire and the ability to be more consistent. And it's in that consistency that we create visibility. It's when we are clear with what we're saying, absolutely, to connect with other people. Can I sing some Creed for us? That's funny. Yes, I could. No, we probably won't today, but I appreciate you asking. That was very nice of you. It's in the consistency of our clear desire to connect to people that we really are going to have the wins. And those are going to come again by making that small move that gives us a little more courage and a little bit more visibility. That courage leads to our consistency, and our consistency is what is going to really cement and make our visibility. It's something that you absolutely need, something that I know that you want. It's what you are called for. It's what you are meant to do. There is nothing that I can think of that, from a foundational standpoint, there are the consistencies of how you then use it and the being around people and the connecting with people that comes beyond that. But the starting place is your words put down in a written form in a very accessible way. That's why I'm so much a proponent of Amazon, is because that's where people go to look for books. And if you've got a book, whether it be like my book, Morty and Mocha, Best Friends Forever, it's a children's book about a dog and a cat that become best friends. Or it be Bestsellers Only the Beginning, my 40th book, the redo of what was my originally 20th book that now is my 40th book. Hey, Willie J, glad to have you here with us. We are talking about how good it is to do a little thing, to do it right now, today. Because when we move, that's when we get movement. And from that movement, we create momentum. And it also wells up the courage inside of us. And that courage leads us to consistency that makes us visible. It's not magic. Wish it was, because I'd like to just wave my magic wand and have all the things that I want to have happen right now. But they happen through being visible and valuable consistently. And that's the real secret. And that's where your book comes in. Your book can be out there. And if you're doing the things to market your book so that people know it exists and are out there, then you can consistently be connecting with people all the time. Whether you're awake or asleep, you are consistently connecting. So, what I'd love to have you do, drop the link to your book in the comments. Just put the link to your book in the comments. I'm going to make some suggestions on it. And I'd love to, if you're open to it, I'd love to meet with you and really talk in more detail about your book and some little things that you could do, some tiny shifts that you could make that could give you some instant wins. And yes, of course, I mean, we've got giant things we could talk to you about doing too. But what would be a little thing that you could do today? What is one way that you can share who you are with the world in the day that's called today? Drop that link to your book in the comments right now. I would love to talk to you in more detail. I hope that you are really happy, that you feel super safe, you're warm inside if the outside is still cold. I know there's a lot of places that are still cold, although we're supposed to get some warmth today. Yay! And that you feel deeply, wonderfully loved. And I want you to know that I'm so glad to be here with you. I look forward to meeting with you again tomorrow. We're going to talk more about this same kind of stuff. And I'm coming to many, many different places near you. Or I have events that you can actually travel to. Now is our time to start reconnecting with people. Now is absolutely when you want to be out in the world and making connections. And I would love for it if you are interested for you to come to some of the places I'll be speaking at over the course of this next year. I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. And until then, I hope you have a great week.